Alright, so we are ready to get started. We're going back home and this is it. We're gonna even record the actual ride, so we'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright, so this is what I did. I added some extra lights here. This is my secondary light. You know, the actual scooter has its own front light, which I like. It's pretty bright. You just tap the power button once and it goes ahead and turns it on, and you tap it once again and you turn it off. So that's that one, but I went ahead for safety or additional brightness, or just so I can have it and use it pretty much the way I might want to. I can use it as a blinker or just give me extra light. This one I use it as extra light, and I have this one at the bottom here, which I'm using as a blinking light. That basically makes me more visible from the front. I've got two lights in the front, and I've got one light that comes with, same thing, when you turn on your scooter, that one stays on. When you hit the brake, in fact, let me hit the brake and let me see if I can do that, and then you see it actually blinks. I thought it would get brighter, but it would blink, and basically letting whoever's behind you know that you are braking. So again, visibility. And on my helmet I have another light which I use. I keep it on. It's a red light, so I'm visible from the rear, and I keep it blinking. Again, that calls the attention. Drivers behind me. I don't drive on the roads. I drive on the sidewalk, but still, you want to make sure that you're visible as much as possible. Because in a turn or something, you want to make sure that people know, hey, there's something coming my way. So that's basically the whole deal that I used, including the helmet. Wearing the helmet is so important. For the speed of this bike, of this scooter, bike helmet will suffice. They're rated up to 20 miles per hour. This unit goes up to 18 miles per hour, but it will never hurt to have an actual, you know, full face helmet, which will provide you way more protection. In addition to that, I just had this extra little gadget here for my phone. Not that I was going to be playing around with it, but I would still have my phone handy just in case. So another important thing to point out is that this scooter has 3 modes of operation, and it seems to be a standard throughout models in general, at least the more modern ones. So this one has, currently is set on drive mode. If I double tap this center button, power button, it takes me to the sports mode. Double tap again, it's eco mode. So what are those modes? Eco mode, basically it limits the speed at which you can travel. And basically that's the mode that manufacturers use for rating the maximum distance that your scooter can travel. So this one is rated to 25 miles distance per charge, or on a full charge, and that would happen if you drive in eco mode, which basically manages your battery by not pushing it so hard, basically, and that's why it can last up to 25 miles an hour. I mean, up to 25 miles distance. So now, drive mode as well as sports mode are not really limited by the speed, but basically drive mode accelerates a little slower, or gets to maximum speed takes a little longer to get to maximum speed. The sports mode basically just goes really quick to that maximum speed. So, and it's at the same time it uses up more of your battery. So the drive mode I would say is the in-between, but that's what I used for my commuting today. And basically, it was 10.4 miles, sum of both ways. I used up the entire battery, so by the time I was getting home a block away, it actually slows down my scooter. It came down to 6 miles an hour, so it was not a big deal. But I realized, hey, could have been like giving this a bad rating or something. But as I throughout the day, I was also researching, and that's pretty much how all the other brands and competitors do it. The rated distance, maximum distance that they put in paper is really the one that you get in eco mode, which is the most battery friendly. Okay, let's use the analogy of a car. If your car, you're flooring it and you're running the car at 90 miles an hour, I'm exaggerating of course, but of course you're going to be using up more gas, way more gas than if you were to drive at, let's say, 55 miles an hour. So, you know, there's always a speed where your car runs at optimum, and anything beyond that, because of the, you know, what the car has to do, and not only that, but the conditions, wind and traffic and so on, you know, you will end up using more gas. So you have to use that analogy to understand, hey, I'm not going to get 25 miles, and don't be upset with that, because basically that's just, it's a variable thing. So you need to just understand that, so you're not like disappointed. As I said, I could have been disappointed, but I did my research, and other companies basically rate their things the same way, and it's just how it works. And again, using the analogy of how a car works, or how the gas usage on a car works, lets you understand, hey, okay, I mean, it's not that I was lied to, but basically it's just how it works in reality. So don't be, you know, don't have the expectation that it will regardless take you up to 25 miles. So for me, in this case, it's going to work fine, because it's going to take me to work and back from work on a complete charge. So the only thing is I got to make sure that I charge it. It doesn't really take too long to charge. So even if I maybe if I end up with a little less than full charge, or even up to maybe 60% of the charge, I would comfortably go, because I know that when I get to work, I can actually charge my battery throughout the day, and it's not going to take the entire day to charge it. It actually charges up pretty quick. So that's that. Now another thing is just the road. I had a couple of incidents with drivers that I should point out that, you know, for your safety, you need to consider. One of the things that I've always do with riding my bike, and in this case with my scooter too, I ride on the sidewalk most of the time. And you want to ride on the sidewalk of like, if you're driving your car, you're going to be on the right side, not the left side. What's the problem with the left side? When people are pulling out, cars are pulling out, they're basically not going to look at you. So if, let's say I'm pulling out, this is the intersection in front of me, and I'm going to turn right. I'm pulling out, I'm going to be looking that way. And if someone's coming, especially on a scooter, bicycle, you're coming from from the right of the driver, you're the last thing they're going to look at. They're going to be making sure that there's no car coming their way, and you're the last thing they look at, if they look, because they're going to look ahead of them, and you're going to be pretty much in the corner of their eyes. So you want to make sure that you're not driving in the opposite side of the street. You want to be on the right side of the direction that you're going. So very important. It's something that I strongly I need to make an emphasis, because you're giving yourself a better chance to be seen. If you're driving, if you're coming this way, I'm the driver, I'm going to see in the corner of my eye something moving my way, or I'm just part of my looking, I'm going to see this vehicle coming my way. And you know what? Even so, I've seen people that either are distracted or simply careless about, they're just reckless drivers. So you just want to give yourself the most opportunity to be seen, and that's basically, take it and live by it, because it's your safety. But again, it's kind of like driving your car. You want to be safe and defensive. You have to have 100% of your senses. Even having music in your ears, it's a risk, because you cannot hear your surroundings and what's going on. If anything, I would use one ear only at a low volume. If you want to be listening to a podcast or in my case, I listen to the Bible or something like that, I would use one ear. That's it. Not anything that would then just prevent me from hearing maybe something coming at me that I was not aware of. So that's number one. I had an incident, and even though I was driving because I had to on the opposite side of the street, a gentleman was turning into an auto park, and the guy was just turning, looking down. The guy was not even paying attention. So I had to be, it's on me to protect myself. So I had to brake, and I got upset at the guy. I didn't curse at him or anything. It's not me, but it got me upset just seeing. I was looking at him, and the guy just was looking down to the floor, making a turn. So again, that's just to emphasize how much of a critical thing this is. You have to be 100% engaged. You cannot be distracted. Again, it's your life, and you have to be careful and take care of it. So again, or actually to summarize, I'm pleased with what I see. Also, let me point this out, because again, I think this is just important. Expectations sometimes don't meet what the reality is, not because reality is not what we expected, but more because we don't know how things work. And in this case, another pointer is you want to ride your scooter with your knees bent. You gotta have a leg in the front, a leg in the back, and your knees cannot be stiff. It's like skating. When you skate, you don't skate like this. You have to have your knees bent, because basically these units at this price range, they don't have suspension, and so the ride could be rocky, especially if you're on the sidewalk. On the road, on the street itself, it's very smooth. And when I first started driving it, that didn't click in, so I was feeling jerky and so on, and was like little, hey, this scooter is a little jerky. But you know what? Not really. You have to even know how to ride it properly. Very important. Hands always here. Don't use the other hand to even scratch your head or something bug you. Don't worry about it, or slow down. Take care of whatever you need to take care of, and then both hands on your steering here. Why? Because the minute you let go of one, the center of gravity just switches immediately, and you can definitely fall and get into a bad accident. So both hands in your right here, and in your steering, and then bend your knees and actually be that suspension system basically. As you can just relax. You have to ride relaxed. Your core is engaged, but your legs just relax, so that you can actually absorb all that motion in a gentle way rather than feeling like, oh, hey, I'm like riding, you know, a roller coaster type of thing. It doesn't have to be that way, and it's on you to basically just learn how to ride it properly. So that actually, it's a big tip, and for me, it was, you know, it made a difference between feeling a jerky ride on the sidewalk versus feeling, hey, this is not bad at all. It is just what it is, and I'm just compensated and riding safely, basically. Because I mean, if I lock my knees, I'm putting myself into a risk of, like, if I brake immediately, I have to brake, then I'm not gonna have control. For braking, if you have to do a hard brake, basically what I've seen many recommend is you bend and kind of push back a little. It's not a jerky push back, because then you can flip back, but you need to even practice that with your, you know, when you drive for leisure. Just practice that so that you become one with your scooter, and then that way you, and all scooters are different brands, different behavior. So you want to know, it's like driving a car, same thing. You want to know how the car brakes, how the car steers, how the car responds to things. So the more you learn those things, you just, you know, just go ahead and keep driving that way. So I think that's all for tips. And again, I'm actually pleased with what I've experienced. I thought I was kind of like expecting, just as I rode prior to this, like just to test things, I was expecting a little bit of a rough, uncomfortable, and you know, I might have had like bad, you know, feelings about it. On the contrary, I mean, after absorbing these little tips, it actually was a very pleasant drive with a few incidents here and there, but just it goes to show, hey, stay engaged, stay safe, and enjoy this.